From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, May the 3rd, 2019. IDF soldiers came under fire today at the Gaza security fence. Palestinian snipers shot at the Israeli soldiers who were on patrol near the border fence. The IDF said that 2 IDF soldiers were injured as a result of the sniper fire. The Times of Israel reporting that one of the soldiers is a male with moderate injuries. The second is a female who sustained light injuries from shrapnel. Both were evacuated to the hospital for treatment. In response, the IDF said Israeli aircraft struck a post belonging to terror group Hamas in Gaza. The shooting came as some 2,500 Palestinians rioted at the border fence today. Several were said to have been injured. Earlier this morning, IDF forces arrested a Palestinian armed with a knife as he tried to breach the Gaza fence. He was taken for questioning. Also today, a balloon carrying an incendiary device was sent over the fence. It sparked a brush fire near the Israeli town of Tecuma. It was extinguished shortly after. Injured victims of the Chabad Poway synagogue shooting and those who fought against the shooter who attacked the synagogue were honored yesterday at a national prayer service at the White House. Congregant and U.S. Army veteran Oscar Stewart and off-duty Border Patrol agent Jonathan Morales, who both ran after and fired at the shooter, were in attendance, as was Rabbi Yisrael Goldstein, who leads the Chabad congregation and whose 2 fingers were shot off during the attack. Goldstein addressed the gathering.
Just 5 days ago, Saturday morning, I faced evil and the worst darkness of all time, right in our own house of worship, right at Chabad Poway. I faced him, and I had to make a decision. Do I run and hide, or do I stand tall and fight and protect all those that are there? We cannot control what others do, but we can control how we react.
He also thanked President Trump for calling him soon after the shooting and helping to begin his healing. The president said at the event, "As we unite on this day of prayer, we renew our resolve to protect communities of faith and ensure that all people and all of our people can live, pray, and worship in peace." Senior White House advisor Jared Kushner shed some light last night on the yet-to-be-unveiled U.S. peace plan. Speaking at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy, Kushner told the Institute's executive director Robert Satloff, "What we've put together over the last year is more of an in-depth operational document that shows what we think is possible," saying it would serve as a starting point to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. There have been reports that the U.S. initiative does not include a plan for a 2-state solution. Kushner said if you say 2 states to the Israelis, it means one thing, and if you say 2 states to the Palestinians, it means another thing. So we said, let's just not say it. Let's just work on the details of what this means. The U.S. Peace Plan team has said that they will release the plan when the timing is right, presumably waiting until a new Israeli government is formed. Well, social media giant Facebook has permanently banned a number of extremists, including Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan, for violating its ban against hate and violence. Farrakhan, of course, is notorious for his anti-Semitic as well as homophobic remarks. He, along with others, including right-wing figures Alex Jones and Milo Yiannopoulos, are barred from Facebook's main service and from Instagram. B'nai B'rith International commended the decision, writing on Twitter, "For decades, Farrakhan has trafficked in dangerous anti-Semitic comments that incite hatred." The American Jewish Committee tweeted of those extremists banned, "They may have the right to spread vile hatred, but Facebook has the right and responsibility to say, 'Not on our platform.'" Jewish groups in Germany are outraged that a parade of neo-Nazis was allowed to take place this week. The march held by the Third Way Party took place in the state of Saxony on Wednesday, May Day, which also happened to be the eve of Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. The head of Germany's Central Council of Jews, Joseph Schuster, said right-wing extremists are marching in Saxony in a way that brings back memories of the darkest chapter in German history. Another neo-Nazi rally took place the same day in the city of Duisburg, where signs were held reading, "Israel is our misfortune." Meanwhile, the Jerusalem Post reports that thousands of Holocaust survivors and descendants of Nazi perpetrators will come together this Sunday in Geneva, Switzerland, in a show of support for Israel. Several rallies are being coordinated by March of Life. They are also aimed at promoting reconciliation and battling anti-Semitism. March of Life founder Jobst Bittner said, at a time when Jewish life in Europe is threatened once again, the March of Life is connecting remembrance and reconciliation with a clear call to support Israel and to say a resounding no to modern anti-Semitism and racism. Marches are also taking place in Bogota and other cities in Colombia. Americans and Canadians who volunteer to fight with Israel in the War of Independence are being remembered and honored this weekend. The 53rd annual Mickey Marcus Memorial Service will take place at West Point this Sunday in a ceremony organized by American Veteran of Israeli Legacy Corporation in conjunction with the Consulate General of Israel in New York. Marcus was among the 41 U.S. and Canadian volunteers who gave their lives in the war from 1947 to 1949. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, May the 3rd. Live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed by Israeli musicians in concert. At 8, the creators of the hit Netflix series Fauda speak at the 92nd Street Y. At 9, it's the film Auschwitz Escape, and at 10, it's Eagles over Auschwitz. That is followed by Muzika at 10:30 with Israeli singer Asaf Amdorsky. And coming up right after this newscast, it's a look at this week's Torah portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, May the 3rd, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.